Hi, people of Grace. Pastor Brian here with another monthly video update for you. Last night was Ash Wednesday, and during our service, instead of having a traditional homily, we invited all of you who were able to attend to come up to the front of the church to some tables and to create these beautiful wilderness vases as a part of a liturgy. And I have to say that the resource that we used was beautiful. It was touching. It was meaningful. The poems were, as they mentioned, they were written for someone specific, but by reading them aloud, I think they really touched the hearts of all who listened. And I especially loved the very end of the last poem, in which it talked about how throughout the wilderness, which is our Lenten journey together this year, how throughout the wilderness and everything that happened, and going through, the barren desert of the sand and the rocks and the bare trees and everything, and then the green moss, which represents life, that in the end of all of that, when there was finally beauty in the wilderness through everything else that happened, that God was the gardener. And for me, that was just absolutely beautiful. It was breathtaking. It really connected me to this creation of these vases. And I just want to thank everyone who was there and participated, because these very shortly are going to be placed up throughout the sanctuary for the season of Lent. And we're just so excited to have them and so grateful for everyone who came and participated. And throughout the season of Lent, we are going to focus our creative energies on the weekend services during the Lent this year. And so as you come to worship, look for these vases throughout the worship space. These will be here. But then each week, we plan on adding a new element to our worship space to kind of reinforce that idea of wilderness. That all of us enter the wilderness for many and various reasons, and that there are bad things that have happened in the wilderness, as that kind of imagery of wilderness, of barrenness, projects. But also there are so many good things that come out of the wilderness, and so many holy moments that we experience in nature, in the wilderness, up on a mountain, as our liturgy for Ash Wednesday talked about how Jacob had the dream of the ladder, and named that place Bethel, God's house, and all of the beauty that wilderness can also represent. And so I invite you, that is together as a congregation, that as we journey through this season of Lent, as we kind of take on this theme of wilderness, and as we also take on the annual theme that I have kind of presented and challenged us with, of koinonia, of fellowship, of a welcome space, that we would not journey through this wilderness by ourselves, but together, in koinonia, in fellowship, as the body of Christ, welcoming and engaging and interacting with one another and with those outside of this space, so that we can celebrate the God who has given us so much, the God who has been with us in the wilderness and who has brought us out on the other side, so that we can see the green, the beauty that is the garden of life that God has blessed us with through Jesus Christ, whom on the other end of this wilderness journey of Lent together we will see enters Jerusalem, experiences the most dire part of wilderness on the cross, but then through that same cross brings us life, abundant life, new beginnings on the other end of the wilderness. Join us this Lent. We are so excited for everything that we've got planned to help make this season impactful and meaningful, and to draw us in closer to God and closer to those whom we worship with, closer to those who are in our neighborhood, in our community. So join us. Help us journey through the wilderness together so that we may experience true Christian fellowship and that we may be blessed by it all. I hope you have a wonderful Lenten season, and I truly do hope that you can join us for this journey together. Blessings, people of grace. I look forward to seeing you in worship.